Jay-Z in a lot of trouble. Rock Nation just got exposed by Gene Deal. And I want everybody to know 50 Cent, he dropping bombshells back to back to back, regardless of who it is. He said that Gene Deal, Diddy, had something to do with what happened to Kim Porter. Now, I want y'all to know Gene Deal was the bodyguard, but at the end of the day, one thing that we clearly missed in this whole situation was the fact that 50 Cent, he was at the place with Diddy one time, and Diddy asked him to take him shopping. Now, everything transpired after that. It kind of made it seem like it was something else that Diddy wanted to do. Now, 50 Cent, he exposed everything. He came out and said what he had to say. You come up on the live. He came out and said what he wanted to say. I want you to speak your piece.
You overlook what a bodyguard might see, know, hear, and otherwise. And this is the one person that, while we've heard from them, I don't feel like anybody's taking it seriously. A bodyguard is not going to benefit from exposing their client at the end of the day because that kind of puts them in a bad position for their role. They're meant to have confidentiality in everything that goes on. But as any human being, if there is something illegal going on, it's their responsibility to speak up and say something.
Some people don't come right up and speak about it, but just like they just said about what happened. Now, I want y'all to know the new details that was released in the tragic death of Jay-Z's mistress. They said they don't even know if she was even a thing. They said that it could be just rumors. Like she's not even the person who was in the mix of what was going on, and they started saying that he did something to her.
There's a lot of different theories, rumors, allegations, but there's very little support on any of it. It makes you wonder, was this somebody that just got swept under the rug because of what she knew and what she could accomplish if she spoke up about what she knew? At the end of the day, we know that these gentlemen and artists and people that are in the fame world, we know they have mistresses. We know they have friends on the side.
Yeah.
It's no secret. And we also know that, when you play, you sometimes gets consequences from your playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's rumored that she was pregnant and he did not want that child to be here or known as his. So she just suddenly disappeared. If you look at the history, because that's all we really have to run off of, these are gentlemen that they're known to pay their way out of situations. But there's a lot of different things that, throw a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Circumstances of where they've been, how they move, how when they get involved with somebody and it doesn't go their way, these people disappear or they speak up and say how they were harmed by this person. You don't have a lot of supporting evidence, but history speaks for itself, y'all.
But everything that's done in the dark will come to the light. And it's a lot of people who know for a fact. Hey, if you're a fan of Kim Porter, drop the RIP Kim Porter's down in the comment section. If you're a fan of Cathy White, I want you to drop the RIP Cathy White's down in the comment section, man. Jaguar Wright said a lot. Gene Deal said a whole lot. And we know exactly they don't play no games.
I think Gene Deal is probably the most creditable source. He's the one that's been around to actually physically witness things that happen with these ladies, things that happen with how their, employer moved. I don't think you can challenge that when history again repeats itself.
You can't. You really can't. Like, come on now. Certain things shouldn't have been did, and certain things shouldn't have been brought to the forefront.
Well, and when you look at these, I don't know, testimonies of these people, their story don't change much. They might add a new detail in, but it is the same story, the same outline, the same history. when someone is lying, it's hard to remember your lie.
Yeah, it really is.
So naturally, in speaking the truth, that flows because our mind emotionally connects with it and it allows for it to come out in true authenticity. When you lie about stuff, you tend to trip yourself up over
And
it.
you're gonna have to keep lying. And this is why Diddy gotta keep going through what he going through.
Well, and then trying to remember your lie from,
He could get a
15 years
case
ago. Oh my
reopened.
God.
There was a
Right.
guy
It's not
called
going to
John
happen too
Paperwork.
well.
The Paperwork Party. They put in an open petition to get Kim's case reopened. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll be sure doing this is showing that, you know, he still got love for Quincy's mother. He still want to find out the truth because allegedly Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death. And then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all.
So you feel the same way about her death being suspect?
I don't think nobody in America think it's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, you know, Kim had, I think a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, you know, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bro. And I don't think an autopsy was done on her. And if it was a half-assed job.
You personally, right? What do you think happened to Kim Porter?
If I say something personal, bro, and my belief, and I put it on to the public, then I might be liable. You understand what I'm saying? I might could be liable for what I say. So I just can't say that, yo, I don't really want to say what I really believe, brother. Because, you know, what I really believe is that they might got into a little spat, a little fight, something went down, and Puff did that play fighting stuff that he always do, and that pillow fighting stuff, and probably smothered her. But I wouldn't say that on the air.
And that's said because Gene Deal, he exposed a lot, and he said how he really feel about it and what he actually think about this whole situation. And I want everybody to know, if you a fan of Kim Porter, man, let me know down in the comment section. This should have never happened under these circumstances. And Kim Porter, she was a person, man, she was a person of light. She was a person who always stayed away from that stuff. She didn't want to get into that type of stuff. She didn't want to get involved in that. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
Go.
You also have to realize too, there's documentation that her casket was ordered weeks prior. You cannot tell me this was not planned. And for the security guard that's always on duty and always around to, you know, say without saying his true piece, it kind of lines up. He knows something that none of us know. And, you know, if he speaks up on it, he can either be charged for association because he didn't report it, and or he fears for his own life. Because again, these are gentlemen that they can buy their way out. They can make you disappear. They have so much control and so much pull in the industry and in the lifestyle that they live in that they don't move in fear.
They don't.
They literally sit there and go, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get.
Yeah.
And if they can't get what they want, well, I like to use a comparison of a 2-year-old toddler, but you know, maybe I'm being a little mean there. However, again, history repeats itself, and time again, we see these actions come from these gentlemen, and no one goes, there's a pattern here.
Right. And everybody ain't gonna tell the same lie. We know that. We know for a fact they not. Some people put themselves in a situation that they can't get themselves up out of. Some people don't know. That's why most people, they do certain things, they think that they're gonna hurry up and be able to escape the karma from it, but they end up being trickled down into it, back to back.
Consequences are always going to come back to back. They may not move as quickly as we'd like them to sometimes, but karma is a thing. And whether you put out good or you put out bad, it's going to come back to you. There's no matter which way you slice that pie. There's no matter which way you sit here and go, oh, I think I'm going to pay off the Grim Reaper today. It doesn't work that way. But in their mindset and how they've moved over the years, that's what it feels like they think. I could cheat death. I can cheat society. I can cheat the laws and regulations that have been put in place for mankind to live without problems.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Oh, here, you want $250,000? Of course, this is allegedly, but at the end of the day, that's what it feels like. That's what the patterns show. That's what history has shown us. Kim Porter, she loved P. Diddy and loved him to a point that she separated himself out of his everyday routine in life because she couldn't stand not being his one and only.
She didn't want to get involved in that.
She didn't want no part of it, and she didn't want her children to be raised around it. Unfortunately, who are the very souls that have been affected by that? Her children. Her children,
and they already knew exactly what was going on. That's why you have to watch certain things you do in certain places you go, because everybody ain't gonna be in your circle
at all. And a lot of people that you think are in your circle are only there because of what they can gain from being there. They're not there because they support you. No, they're there because, hey, have a shot with me. Hey, let's go shopping. Hey, did you need that new car you saw the other day? You were eyeballing it. It's what they can benefit from. But the minute you can no longer provide that scene to them,
they get mad and they start to want to distance themselves and do certain things. Keep in mind, P. Diddy got locked up. Jay-Z act like he didn't even know him.
That's his best friend.
He act like he didn't even know him.
Everybody knows that's his best friend, but this is the legal's way. The lawyers saying, legally, if we separate ourselves and you just happen to be at the same place at the same time every time P. Diddy was, but then that's work related, and because it's work related, you can claim association only.
But as soon as P. Diddy instantly got behind them bars and couldn't get out, Jay-Z, they tried to implement him as a friend of Diddy, but what the hell happened? You saw what happened. They instantly told P. Diddy, Jay-Z ain't answering the calls. Now we see Jay-Z getting hit with a whole type of stuff. After blue. I'm talking about ever since that trial started, they've been saying Jay-Z did this and he did that.
Between the two of them, and I don't have a solid number in front of me, but between the two of them, there are over 150 alleged cases against them. Some of them civil, some of them not. P. Diddy still has a whole battle ahead of him. He is by far not done with his legal battles.
What do you think he is?
He knows he's not. And now Jay-Z is being implemented right along with him, even more so than what initially had started. Everybody's not going to tell the same lie.
They not.
And have the solid details that back it, because we haven't even been given all of the details. But these people somehow or another know the littlest detail that only if you had been there, you would know.
Yep. And that's why I want y'all to tune in and hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you're a fan of Kim Porter. Let me know if you're a fan of Cathy. Everything is gonna be spoken upon, and people realize it's gonna sit right there and start pointing fingers at who they actually think did it, and the evidence is gonna come out and show exactly what happened and why it happened. You can't excuse the fact of what's really going on.
At the end of the day, Kim Porter was writing a book. She knew more information than anybody, and they did not want that whole story to come to light. Her casket was pre-ordered
like Gene Deal said, she had more money than enough to call any doctor she wanted to call. There is no reason that that lady who was just fine the day before all of a sudden became so ill that she passed away.
That's why Jay-Z, he FaceTime 50 Cent and let him know how he feel.